A recent Fox News poll finding that only 14% of Americans believe Biden's economic policies have helped them. Joining me now is Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. He is a member of the House Budget and Energy Committees. Congressman, I think that poll, good morning, first off, nice to see you, and I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. But I think that poll of 14% of people across the country saying Bidenomics is working for them pretty much says it all. The administration, the president, they could spin it however they want, but prices are up, and 2024 could be a hard year for everyone.
No question about it. First of all, Merry Christmas, Jackie, and to everyone, Merry Christmas. Look, there's no question about it. In the state of Georgia, Bidenomics is a four-letter word. No one is gaining anything or benefiting from Bidenomics. In fact, we're suffering. The average family in America is spending over $11,000 more than they were a year ago. All thanks to Bidenomics. And this is killing us. It is just crushing our economy and is crushing the average family. Look at the credit card spending and the credit card borrowing. Everything is up. It's up because of Bidenomics. And the job growth, these aren't real jobs that we're talking about here. And people, when I'm in the district, when I'm talking to my constituents, they're constantly telling me, look, this is crushing us. I can't afford to go to the grocery store. I can't afford to pay my rent. All of those things are up.
And I personally find it offensive when he says, go report the story, you know, the right way, because we have been reporting the story the right way. Even the inflation rate as it's coming down doesn't discount the fact that food and shelter across the board, you can see on the screen right there, are up roughly 20% each. And those are Americans' biggest concerns, food and shelter. So when you think about this president and what he's done for people, he's constantly talking about building the economy from the bottom up. All he's done actually is create more polarization, in my view, between the super rich and the people who are feeling poor. He's actually squeezing out the middle class.
No question about it. And the question is, how do you fix it? Well, the first thing you do is you rein in federal spending. And this is what Bidenomics is about. This is what we've witnessed here with the Inflation Reduction Act, a misnomer of a name, if you will. But still, too much federal spending. When the federal government spends more, you have less. There's no question about that. That's why we've got to rein in federal spending. We've also got to unleash American energy. You know, the inflation was at 1.4% when Joe Biden took office. Now we're supposed to be happy that it's coming down to 3.7%. That's ridiculous. The price of gas was at $2.39 when he took office. It went up all the way up over $5 a gallon. We've got to make sure that we get and unleash American energy. That's what's going to help. And the main thing that I hear when I'm traveling, I've been to Houston 3 times this year, the energy capital of the world, and I keep hearing the same theme when I'm there, and that is permitting is crushing us. Permitting is crushing us. We've got to revise permitting in this country.
Yeah, it takes way too long. Part of that is by design. But let's switch gears and talk about this, because former Vice President Al Gore, once again, sounding the alarm about climate change, now warning about this new worst-case scenario. Listen here.
If we don't take action, there could be as many as 1 billion climate refugees crossing international borders in the next several decades. Well, a few million has contributed to this wave of populist authoritarianism and dictatorships and so forth. What would 1 billion do? We can't do this. We could lose our capacity for self-governance.
Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says that he's concerned that if Trump wins in 2024, it would slow down the world's progress on climate change. Congressman, no preamble. I'm just going to let you take this.
Well, look, I had the opportunity to travel to Dubai to participate in COP28. I will tell you that I was encouraged, and that's where conservatives need to be. We need to be at the table. We cannot have an impact if we're not at the table, and I was glad we were there. And I was glad of some of the things that came out of COP28, because what came out of that was that they finally acknowledged that nuclear power has got to be part of our plan. It's got to be part of the future. In fact, they encouraged us to increase it threefold. Not only that, but they're finally understanding that it's not the source, it's the emissions that we should be concentrating on. That's extremely important. If you look at the United States of America, what we've done to decrease carbon emissions here in this country over the last decade, we have done more than the next 12 countries combined while still growing our economy. And I'm always telling the fossil fuel industry, we need to take credit for that. The greatest innovators, the greatest engineers in the world are right here in the United States of America. We're going to be the leader in bringing down carbon emissions. But I will tell you, this rush to green and this, oh, the sky is falling, none of that is helping whatsoever.
Right. Well, I agree with you that we're going to be the leaders and we're going to set the stage for it. But you need other countries and nations, for example, China and India, the biggest polluters on the planet, to go ahead and join on board. They're not doing that. And so it's not President Trump that's going to dig the climate down, if there is any such thing. It would be the non-participation of some of these big polluters. But while I have you here, let's move to this, because the National Border Patrol Council revealing a record amount of border agents worked on Christmas Day. They write, quote, while our agents are more than willing to sacrifice the holidays to protect fellow Americans, that's not what they will be doing. They will be processing the illegal border crossers for release into the U.S., while large parts of the border will be left wide open to exploitation by organized crime. Now, Customs and Border Patrol offering up to $30,000 in recruitment incentives for new border agents because, Congressman, nobody wants that job anymore.
And who can blame them? I mean, first of all, they're not doing what they were trained to do. They're doing humanitarian work, and they're doing yeoman's work. They're doing great work. However, that's not what they were trained to do and what they signed up to do. Look, the border is total chaos. There's no question about that. Whether you look at the number of illegal immigrants, whether you look at the drugs that are coming across that border, destroying our citizens, killing over 200 people every day due to fentanyl poisoning, we've got to secure our border. When I'm in the district, people are asking me, how can you justify sending money to other countries to protect their borders when we're not protecting our borders? And quite honestly, I don't have an answer for them.
Yeah, I don't blame them for asking that question. It's a good one. Congressman Buddy Carter, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being